Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In this video, we'll be looking at one very unique, iconic deck that has been banned pretty much when it was released. I think they actually translated wrong card from the Japanese to the English. And probably many of you will know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a base set up to Neo format, and I'm talking about Slowking deck featuring, as you can see it right here, Seasel. So, yeah. Alright, so let's go through this deck list so you can basically see the full deck list. So, this deck running one copy of Pichu with that Zap, which means that you can does 20 damage to each Pokemon in play, and this is a very good card for this build. It's a very nice deck. Basically, with the Zap, we can spread damage around the board, and those days Pokemons actually didn't have huge HP, you know. They had like 60, 70 HP, 40 HP for the basic ones. So 2 rounds with the Zap and you can simply one-hit knockout something that your opponent have in play. Actually, double-hit knockout. But anyways, the second card on this deck list is nothing less but the Brox Monkey with a Taunt, which says that if your opponent has any bench Pokemon, you can choose one of them and switch it with the defending Pokemon. Back then, that was a very decent attack, you know, but since we had also some cards like Pokemon Catcher these days, it's really not a big deal, but it's very good because of the free retreat as well. Something else that we can find in this deck list, obviously, it's that Sneasel with the beat up and Fury Swipes. Beat up, flip a coin for each of your Pokemon in play, and this attack does 20 damage times the number of hits. Free retreat cost minus 20 resistance to the minus 30 resistance back then was minus 30, and for each extra Darkness Energy, your attack was actually pumped up for 10 more. 2 copies of Murkrow, you know, with that mean look and feint attack. Defending Pokemon cannot retreat as long as Murkrow remains your active Pokemon, benching or evolving that Pokemon basically ends the turn. We all know that. And you can also snipe your opponent, benched Pokemon for 20. But what is very interesting about the Murkrow, obviously, is the fact that he also had free retreat. So any Pokemon in this deck has free retreat as well as the Cleffa. So I guess I don't need to talk too much about Cleffa. I'm running 4 copies of Cleffa in this build. As usual, standard procedure. We really need to have those Cleffas. I just need to fix somehow that lighting in the background, but I guess it's just impossible. Yeah, it is. It is how it is. But anyways, also 4 copies of Slowpokes on this build, you know. So basically, with the Slowpoke, you can basically evolve into the Slowking. So yeah, also Slowking is part of this deck. And what's very interesting about Slowking, obviously, is the ability. I mean, you really don't want to attack with it. I mean, who wants to attack with a Slowking? You just want to focus on that Mind Games ability. Whenever your opponent plays trainer card, you can flip a coin if heads, this card does nothing, and you can just, you know, force your opponent to put that card on the top of his or her deck. I mean, that was broken back then, you know. Really, it was. Imagine your opponent have nothing in hand and he just wants to play Professor Oak for 7 and you flip hands on a coin flip and yeah, you can imagine what's going to happen next. Pokemon Flute ×1 in this list as well. Choose 1 basic Pokemon card from your opponent's discard pile and put it on the bench. Something similar to the... Oh, I can't remember right now what was the name of that card. In the standard format, it was... Oh, it's not a Pokemon Flute, but it was also printed, you know. I can't remember what was the name of the card. Target Whistle, yeah, pretty much the same effect as the Target Whistle. Nightly Garbage Run, pretty much super raw these days. Pokemon Center, very good card. You can remove all damage counters from all Pokemons in play, and then you just need to discard all energies. But yeah, it's not hard to discard all energies because those Pokemons does not require too many energies, just one of them. So yeah, very, very good card as well. 2 gold berries, pretty much standard card those days in many decks. Healing Field also good. Once you engage each player turn, he or she might flip a coin. If it is a heads, that player can simply remove 2 damage counters. Also very good card, you know, basically because you can just, you know, get rid of that zap damage as well. 2 switch just in case if we're stuck in the active position with that Slowking. Couple energy removals because why not? We can have them, and they're very, very disruptive cards. 3 copies of Item Finder, you know, pretty much the junk arm, but back then you was able to grab a trainer card, and back then there was no supporter cards. Later you was not able to grab supporter card with the junk arm, but for example with the Dowsing Machine you was able to grab it. Couple super energy removals as well, why not? Because it's base Neo set. Base Neo standard format, you know, and back then energy removals was very disruptive and very often played by many decks. I should say 3 Pokemon Catchers or 3 Gust of Winds. Choose one of your opponent's benched Pokemon and switch it with his or her active Pokemon. Also very disruptive card as well. 4 copies of Professor's Oak. Back then, all you really need was 4 copies of Professor's Oaks and 4 Cliffas, and you was pretty much ready to go. Something else that's very powerful in the standard format, base Neo, obviously is a computer search. You can just discard 2 cards from your hand, and then you can just, you know, search your deck for any card you want and put in your hand without showing it to your opponent. Later, computer search was reprinted, but luckily as a ace pack, which means that you can play only 1 computer search per game, but with some cards like a Junk Arm, for example, and Puzzle of Time, you can even play it multiple times, but luckily Puzzle of Time is banned in the expanded format. It's just, you know, announced today. And also Less. Less is something similar to the Getses. You and your opponent shows each other hands, and then both shuffle back those trainer cards in the deck. So pretty much the same effect as the Getses, but Less also affects you as well. Speaking about energy cards, 4 copies of Rainbow Energy, you know, because Rainbow Energy needs to provide also in addition to that Darkness type. Also 4 copies of Darkness Energies in this deck list. And we can also find 3 copies of Recycle Energies as well. It's definitely not the beautiful thing you can see in front of you, but yeah, at least I managed to somehow publish this deck list on my channel, what was the main purpose. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope this video actually helped you maybe to build this deck. It's a very iconic deck that was banned later. I kind of like it, you know, I really like that old school format with those old school 1st and 2nd generation cards. I'm definitely looking forward to play some matches in the future with my friends and post it on my YouTube channel, so you can also watch it as well. Basically, make sure to subscribe to the channel for those videos. It will definitely be a big turn back in the past, in my childhood, when I started to play this game. Really brings memories. I mean, those cards unfortunately are not original cards. As you can see, they're printed just on the paper, but they look gorgeous in my opinion. The reason I'm doing that is simply because they cost too much, and it's very, very hard to afford those cards these days, you know, because, for example, Pichu in the 1st edition mood, I mean, it's not that you need first edition cards, but still, if you can print them, why you shouldn't have them? This card is like 30-40 bucks a piece, you know. Even those common cards are hard to find these days. I mean, Cliffa in just a regular shape is like 10 bucks a piece, so they're actually very hard to find. I do have some original cards. I have like maybe 10-15 Cliffas as original. I have some Slowkings and stuff like that, you know, but not in good condition, you know, so that's also one of the reasons why I don't even want to bother investing in those old cards, because I can simply print them. I would definitely love to have them, but at this moment it's just way too hard for me to get them. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know also in the comments below, do you like those old decks that I'm showing up? This deck is actually from the Jason Klasinski blog, so you can also find it right there. So big shout out to Jason Klasinski for posting this deck list. So it's not one of my decks that I just, you know, invented or bring up to the play, but I'm definitely also looking forward once I will have more proxies to make my own decks and to play with them and to show them to the public. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. So till then, have a nice day and goodbye.